So our next topic will be power rating of the household appliances. If you consider our day-to-day life, we will be using many electrical appliances. So example, it will be a lamp. We will start with the light. So for lighting purpose, we'll be using a lamp. Nowadays we are using with the LED lamps, right? So again, we'll have a tube lights. Apart from that, you will be using a refrigerator, a washing machine, television, a micro ovens, right? So sometimes a radio, electric clocks, a toaster, water heater. So these are all the basic common appliances what we will be day-to-day we will be using. So if we are what are the things we are using, it will consume some amount of power. That's what the power rating of the household appliances what we want to discuss. So now if you consider with the mobile charger, right? So day-to-day life will be using a mobile and we need to charge the mobile. So it will consume around 5 watt. If you consider with the laptop, 50, a refrigerator, 725 watts, a television. It depends on the whether it's a LED TV or a LCD TV and how many inches. So for example, 36-inch television will consume 133 watt. A toaster, 800 to 1400. If you go with the water heater, it will range from 2000 to up to 5000 watts. Then a mixer, it's called as a mixie. So 750 watt to up to 2. A grinder, 2 kilowatt and above, right? So similarly for the different purposes, micro oven, 750 watt to 100 watt. Water heater, again we discussed. Ceiling fans, it will be around 150 watts. So like this, each and every appliances will have a different ratings. So after discussing about that, we should discuss about the energy meter bill. So whenever I want to discuss with the energy meter bill, we have seen that every month we will be getting a electricity bill. So in that, whatever the power we have consumed, it is mentioned in terms of units. Example, 50 units, 100 units, like that you have consumed. But the power rating, what we have discussed previously, the power ratings always, we know that the power unit will be watts. That's why the power rating also we are discussing in terms of a watts. But whatever the energy meter bill we will be getting, it will be in terms of a unit. Then what do you mean by a unit? A unit is nothing but, so it will be equivalent to 1 kilowatt hour. Example, if you are taking a 10 watt bulb, right? So to consume 1 unit, that 10 watt bulb has to be used for 100 hours. If you are using a 10 watt bulb for 100 hours, it will consume 1 unit. Similarly, if you have a 100 watt bulb or any 100 watt equipment. So let us consider a ceiling fan which has 100 watt. If you are using it, a particular ceiling fan for 10 hours continuously, it will be 10 watts into how many hours you are using? 10 hours. So it will be 1000 watt hours, which is called as 1 kilowatt hour, which will be equal to 1 unit. That is what 1 unit is. So next we will be discussing is a tariff. So what do you mean by a tariff? So for the whatever the electricity we are consuming, for that we will be charged some amount for that. So the rate at which the electrical energy is supplied to a consumer, it is known as a tariff. So what are the main objectives of the tariff then? One is, so obviously to consume a power, we should generate a power. So what they are generating a power, they have to invest some amount for that. So the recovery of the cost, that is the first main objective. Recovery of the cost of producing the electrical energy at the power station. Next, what will be the next objective? Next objective will be the recovery of cost on the capital investment in the transmission and distribution. So whatever the power they are producing, it will be far away from the cities. So it has to be transmuted, right? So for that, what they have invested for the transmission and distribution purpose, transmission lines and the substations, everything, that cost has to be recovered. And next, recovery of cost of operation and maintenance. So obviously for the operation and the maintenance, they need to spend some amount, they should also recover that one. And finally, the suitable profit for the capital investment. So all these things are the main objectives. Then a desirable characteristics of a tariff. So what do you mean by desirable characteristics? So it should have some particular characteristics which will help the supplier also and the consumer also. So example, first one will be a proper return. For the supplier, what they have invested, it has to be returned back. So that's why it's a proper return. Next, fairness. A fairness is nothing but it should be not be burden to the supplier also or not burden to the user also. That's why it should be very fair. So it will not be very high for the consumers who will be consuming, and it should not be a loss for the supplier also. So little bit of profit he has to make, and it should not burden the consumers, like that. Simplicity. So what are the electricity bill they are going to make? It should be very simple. It should be easily understood by the consumers. Then a reasonable profit, as already I discussed with respect to fairness. So there should be some reasonable profit for the supplier. And the fifth one is attractive. So whatever the tariff they are going to design, it should be attractive so that the consumer must use or consume more electricity. Then we have different types of tariff. So namely a simple tariff, flat rate tariff, a block rate tariff, two-part tariff, maximum demand tariff, power factor tariff. So different types of tariff, what we have is a simple tariff, then a block rate tariff, two-part tariff, three-part tariff, maximum demand tariff, then we have a power factor tariff. So like that we have many tariffs. So but in our syllabus we have is only a two-part tariff. So before going with the two-part tariff, let us know about some other tariff. So let us take with one is a simple tariff. If you are going with a simple tariff, so whatever the amount they are going to consume the power, depending on that they will be charged. Example, for 1 unit, if they are charging 5 rupees, if you are consuming for 100 units, so the amount you will pay is 100 into 5, which will be equal to 500 rupees. Now if you are consuming 200 units, again per unit it will be 5 rupees, so you will be paying 1000 rupees. This is called as a simple tariff. So whatever may be the energy you want to consume, for every unit you will be charged only 5 rupees. So whatever the amount of energy you are going to consume, that into 5 rupees, that is the amount. It's called as a simple tariff. Now if you go with the block rate tariff, so in the block rate tariffs, they are going to divide into different blocks. For different blocks or the different units you are going to consume, it will be charged with a different amount. So example, for the first 50 units, let us assume it as 5 rupees. For the next 50 units, it will be 10 rupees. Now if you are consuming 100 units of power, it will be charged on the different block. So it is divided into first 50 block and the second 50 block. For the first 50 it will be charged only 5 rupees, and for the next 50 it will be charged 10 rupees. So it will become 250 plus 500, so it will be 750 rupees. This is what a block rate tariff is. For the different blocks of units what you want to consume, for that they will be charged with the different rates. Now if you compare this one with the flat rate tariff, so 100 units into 5 rupees means it was only 500 rupees. But now in a block rate tariff, if you are consuming more of amount of power, you will be charged more for the extra unit what we are consuming. That is what called as a block rate tariff. Now let us discuss about the two-part tariff. So that's what there in our syllabus. In two-part tariff, your billing is divided into two parts. One will be the fixed charge and another one will be the variable charge. So the two-part tariff will be a combination of a fixed charge and the variable charge. So now let us see what you mean by fixed charge. So the fixed charge is nothing but whatever the load we have sanctioned or the energy meter we have taken with the maximum demand. that is called as a fixed charge. Now you could have observed in your energy meter bill, there will be one fixed charge will be there and the sanction load. So depending on that, you will be charged with the fixed charges. So nothing but the maximum amount of power what you are going to use at a particular instant. That is the maximum demand or the fixed unit sanction load we would have taken. So it will be 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, depending on the what all the equipments you will be using in your home. You should choose the fixed sanction load while sanctioning with the energy meter. So let us consider this one as a 2 kilowatt will be the sanction load. For everything they will be charged something. For 1 kilowatt, if they are charging 100 rupees, so if you have taken a load of 2 kilowatt, it will be 2 into 100, so 200 rupees will be the fixed charge. So if you are using a power or not, so you will be charged every month 200 rupees. Let us consider you have gone out of station for 1 month and if you have not switched on any of the electrical equipments, but then also you have to pay the electricity bill because of the fixed charge, that is called as a fixed charge. A variable charge, it is similar to the block rate tariff, already we have discussed. So depending on the how much power we have consumed, depending on that you will be charged. So if you have consumed 100 units, so I told again in the variable charge will have the different blocks. So it is 5 rupees. For the remaining 5, if it is 10 rupees, it will be 250 plus 500, 750 rupees. That is a variable charge. And the fixed charge we are considered as 200 plus variable charge is 750. So now we have to pay 950 rupees. That is what the two-part tariff is. So here in the two-part tariff we will be using two different parts. One will be the fixed charge, which will be charged basis on the maximum demand, and then will be the variable charge. For that, what are the power you have to consume, depending on that they will be charged. So we can have the formula that total charges will be B into the kilowatt, that is a sanction load, into for that sanction load will be charged some amount. So charge per kilowatt of a maximum demand into the number of units we have consumed, that is in kilowatt hour, and for every kilowatt hour they will be charged some amount. So your total charges will be B into kilowatt plus C into kilowatt hour. Then what is the advantages of a two-part tariff? So it can be easily understood by the consumer, and it recovers the fixed charge which depends on the maximum demand of the consumer also. So and it is independent of the units consumed. So if you are consuming the whatever the power or not, then also you have to pay the amount. What are the disadvantages? The consumer has to pay the fixed charge irrespective of the energy consumed. So if you are consuming, if you are taken a 2 kilowatt load and if you are consuming only 10 units, but he has to pay the fixed charge of 200 rupees. And if you are consuming for 100 units also, he has to pay the fixed charge of 200 rupees. So both the consumers, those who are consuming only 10 units or the 100 units, both has to pay the same fixed amount of charges. And there is always error in assessing the maximum demand of the consumer. It will be very difficult to assess the maximum demand of a consumer. Now let us discuss about a tariff or the how billing will be done using the for the electricity bill. So let us consider a electricity bill. This is an example what I have taken. Now you can see the sanction load. You can observe here the sanction load was 2 kilowatt. You can observe here the sanction load was 2 kilowatt. Now, and apart from that, you can see the present reading and the previous reading. The present reading is 1571 and the previous reading was 1511. So the difference is 60. So for a particular month, they have consumed 60 units. First, let us discuss about the fixed charge. The fixed charge you can observe here. Total load they have taken is 2 kilowatt. For the 1 kilowatt, they have charged 60 rupees. For the next 1 kilowatt, it is 70. So it will be 60 plus 70. Totally, it will be 130 rupees will be the fixed charge. Whether they are going to use the power or not, every month they have to pay 130 rupees. And next, If you go with the number of units they have consumed, that is 60. So at the block rate tariff, you can see here for the first 30 units it is charged 3.75 rupees. For the next 30 units it is charged 5.2. So it is 112.5 and it is 156. So total it will be 267.5. that is the variable charge. Now we should pay both, that is 0.5, this is 7, this is 9, this is 3. So fixed charge is 130 rupees and the variable charge is 267.5 rupees. So totally we have to pay 397.5 rupees. That will be the two-part tariff. For that again there will be a tax of 9%. So including that we need to pay the amount. That will be our total bill what we will be getting.